How does this differ from what you have been trying to do in France?
Well, the difference is that in France it wasn't an event. It was like we made a camp and we stayed there for a long time, and it was political, and we were not going to move until they find political solutions. So it took like 5 months. We stayed there and we got a political solution. We found good after a few weeks, but then we had to make people go into shelters or housing. So it took us a long time, and it wasn't like how do you say it? It wasn't an event. It wasn't just like a show, you know. It was really important, and we stayed with people, and we. It was a fight. It was a battle, and I think here I don't know the situation in Denmark, but I hope this movie is telling as well that you can make things different if you really believe in it, and if you really if what you say is fair, and it can really change things.
So what do you think of this way of doing it instead of just putting it into a cinema, for instance?
I think it's a nice event, because here people from the street can see the movie, and it's a way for us to as well to sensibilize people, you know, to make them feel a little bit of what these other people are really living. You know, what's a good thing today is that there are people like you and me living in a house, and there are people in the street, and they just meet, and I think it's the first step as well to make things change.
Do you have the grand solution for what is happening in France, for sort of the division in the public, or is it more complicated than that?
No, actually no. Politicians try to tell us that it's difficult, but it is not. We got solutions. We are working today with like all the major associations taking care of homeless people and taking care of the crisis of housing. We've got very important crisis of housing in France. Like millions of people can't get a house, a good house. They are living in a flat that is too small or too in a very bad stage. So there are solutions, and we know what are those solutions. But now the lack of a political will, a strong political will, is what we are asking to the politicians. Is like, now you have to act, because we know what you have to do, and you just have to decide it.
So is it essentially the lack of action from the politicians in France that has created this situation, or do you think it is something more historical than that?
Yeah, basically it's like, of course there are different, it comes from different things, and people are going into the street for different reasons, and usually it can be because of a personal problem, and the state can't do anything about it, you know. But then the way you take care of those people and how long they stay in the street, that's important. If the guy stays like 3 days, and then you take him away, and you can give him a shelter and take care of him and go with everything he needs, then he's gonna be okay in a few weeks, and then he's gonna go better and better. You know, if you leave him in the street for a few months, after a few months, it's too late. You can't do anything. The guy is getting worse and worse, and then so both things. I mean, politicals have to make a strong policy, and you know, in France there are families living in family of 10 people living in 10 square meters, and that's not possible. And those people, they are paying a rent for those flats, and they are paying quite a lot of money. So this is a political thing. Politicians have to say no, that we can't live in this kind of situation.
What do you think you can gain by showing this to people outside of France?
Well, I think it's. I guess the problem is international, and I guess that. People are looking for different ways to act. I mean, those people taking care of homeless people here in Denmark, they definitely want them to be out of the street, and I'm sure that they've been working for years and years, and they are trying to have a solution. And this movie can tell them how to make it. It is working. It worked with a lot of determination. Like we stayed months, and it was hard. But then if you can do this, then you will make the state react. And the other thing is like just to this kind of meeting, like people from the street, people out of people like you and me. It's important because mentalities are changing. And
Well, thank you very much for having this interview with us, and I hope you'll have a lot of success with your movie onwards.
Thank you very much.